Good evening, Mr. Mayor, City Council members. I'm up here as a citizen and a business owner in downtown Scottsdale. You know, right now the whole entire country is divided. Half of the country doesn't really listen to the other half of the country. I really don't expect to have any of you change your mind by anything that I say here tonight. The downtown parking situation is really bad. Old Town is encompassing a huge area. I've been down there for 23 years. The city of Scottsdale has over and over brought in outside experts to look at the parking, and they've said, oh, you don't have a parking problem. Well, there was a gentleman that wrote a book not long ago that talks about reaching the 10,000-hour rule. He considers the key to success in any field is simply a matter of practicing a specific task that can be accomplished with 20 hours of work a week for 10 years. I put in about 50 hours a week for 23 years. I've been watching the parking in downtown for 23 years. It happened when I first moved in. I personally think I'm somewhat of an expert about the parking situation in my area. You guys have a real problem with it. There's another thing that happens when you hire these outside experts that don't live in the neighborhood, don't work in the neighborhood. It's called the law of unintended consequences. Often cited but rarely defined, this is from Wikipedia, is that actions of people, and especially government, always have effects that are unanticipated or unintended. Economists and other social scientists have heeded its power for centuries, and for just as long, politicians have chosen to ignore it. One of the things that's in unintended consequences was happening in the Vietnam War. A bunch of experts got together and said, you know, it'd be really great. Why don't we spray Agent Orange all over the forest? It'll die, and then we can kill the enemy. The unintended consequences was it also affected all of the veterans that were on the ground. The experts didn't talk to the people on the ground. They never consulted with those people on the ground. We know what the unintended consequences are now. I'm just going to tell you the unintended consequences of this development in downtown is the equivalent of Agent Orange on our downtown. It's going to kill it. I firmly believe it. I've been down there for 23 years. I live it every single day. I have people tell me that there's no place to park even right now. So these other developments that are coming in, they're just horrendously underparked. It's not a crime. It's part of your legal code. You guys need to change the legal code. You really do. And I'm a business owner. I'm a private citizen. I don't represent anybody else but me. You guys really need to change the parking code. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Thompson. Next is Marilyn Atkinson. Yes.
Hi. Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Marilyn Atkinson. My address is on record. I'm here tonight as a person who owns a business in historic Old Town Scottsdale. I've been down there for 45 years, so parking is a problem. What we are requesting tonight and what we have turned in is a parking requirements petition to the city clerk that is signed by the 150 downtown property owners and merchants. This petition is requesting an amendment to our currently inaccurate downtown parking requirements and other related issues. We are asking that this petition be included in the discussion during the Old Town Parking Work Study session that is scheduled for February the 11th. What French said about the parking is a crisis point for how downtown is going to survive. We need to seriously look at, and he was talking about being on the ground level. We were on the ground level for 45 years. We know there is a shortage of parking, and it's not because I don't have a degree in transportation. I haven't even taken a course in it. But what I can do is look out the front door, and I can see people driving around looking for parking spots. It's called common sense. And therefore, when the folks signed, it's because those folks had common sense. And we would like for you to include that in this language in the parking study. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Atkinson. That completes the information, or rather for the request to speak today. And we will take the issue of the petition up. I think we've all had a chance to read it, but we will look at that at the end of session. Brings us to our next item, which is the citizen petition, which was spoken about by Marilyn Atkins earlier today, with a request for the council to consider whether the list that's indicated, and I think we all have a copy of the items on our work in the area of parking, and I think we're designated to have in fact I know we are, to have a study session to discuss the parking situation. I think that's already scheduled, and the city manager is working on that. I don't know that there's anything other than to say that unless we need to take a vote on it, but as far as an action is concerned, is to include this as consideration. But
Mr. Mayor and members of council, if I may, I realize we received the petition this evening. Next week we will be discussing in study session the downtown parking. I'm happy to include this portion in that discussion. And so I don't think any action is necessary of council. We already had this included, so we'll just include the packet as well as part of what you receive. And I'll share that with the city clerk and ask that she forward it as part of the packet. So if that's acceptable to council, then I don't think any action is necessary. Thank you.
So then be it. Okay, thank you very much for that.